boarding all, and welcome to a special early edition of Let's Get It. I'm your host, Randy Duncan, along with my co-host, Marcus Bullock, and Coach Jason Bryce. And Coach Marcus Bullock, how are you this morning? See, this is early.
You know it's early. It's slipping.
We already have
fumbling.
Coming to you live on a Sunday morning. Got to get that coffee in. Coming to you after a phenomenal week of sports, phenomenal week of school, Super Bowl, where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers took down the Kansas City Chiefs. Tom Brady with another Super Bowl win. More Eagles drama. We have a special guest, Coach Mike Ricci of the Haddon Heights boys basketball team, is going to be joining us on the second segment. But before we get into all our sports talk, as usual, Coach, how are you this morning?
I'm doing well, man. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. Happy Valentine's Day to my wife. No, all's good, man. It was a busy week. I had a delayed opening the other day, which was like to me that's almost better than a day off because you don't have to make it up.
Oh yeah, to indeed.
You know what I mean? So like that was like, and then like the kids come in and the day's like already over, so like nobody's really doing anything. So it was great. Like so I enjoyed that. But all's good, man. All's good.
Good. See, and once again, happy Valentine's Day. I know my girlfriend's watching. She's a big fan of the show, so I have to say happy Valentine's Day to her also. Jay, how you doing this morning?
Hey. Good morning, everybody. I'm doing all right, man. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. All my lovely people. And including my daughters. I doubt they're watching, but happy Valentine's Day to them. I'm doing all right, man. Rough week though, bro. Rough week, man. Rough 2 weeks, man. You know what? Life. Sometimes when you walk in life, life teaches you lessons. And one of the fabulous lessons that you learn is that, hey, listen, everybody's not your friend, man. You learn some valuable lessons. Sometimes you learn, and I don't know if you stop learning that lesson, but you know what I'm saying. It's like a continual thing. You know what I mean? So. But other than that, we take the the bumps and the bruises and continue to navigate and trudge forward. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good, Mike.
No, I know. It's you never know. Now I have one little gripe about Valentine's Day before we get started.
You say your girlfriend's watching. So
oh, it's okay. She knows. I've expressed this to her.
Okay.
I'm not.
Be mindful.
Listen, the Valentine's Day to me is a sham. And it's one day. Obviously you acknowledge it, and I do, but. Doesn't it mean more if it's a random act of love than because Hallmark said today's the day you gotta show your love?
Yeah, I'm not stepping on that.
Oh, okay. Marcus isn't either, it seems like.
No, I get what you're saying, but it's like, I don't know, man. It is what it is, man.
It's what it is, right?
Well, no, I'm not saying you don't. I'm not
saying
saying you don't acknowledge it, but I've never been a huge fan. I've been more of a fan of the random April 23rd. We have a special dinner just because I love you. I want to show you how much I
No,
care.
but see what happens is, what happens is when you do that on April 23rd,
They think you're
now they're like, whoa, what'd you do?
Right.
Oh.
Somebody to know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. Listen, I understand. It's been that great.
And on top of that, let me ask you, did you not have a Valentine's when you was growing up? Did you have
Maybe I didn't get as many Valentines in my brown bag that was left on my desk when I was younger.
Oh, okay. You
got
the teacher giving gifts. Okay. The teachers give gifts too. Yeah, okay.
Well, my bag I skipped over a lot. I guess. Maybe that's where it all started.
Do they even do that in school anymore? I mean, obviously they're not doing it like now, but
yeah, I guess they
do.
Yeah. I mean, probably like up to the. But no, because even at the high school we would have love grams or some type of candy grams or something, you know what I'm saying? You could buy whatever. Sometimes you buy a little teacher one, like, oh, I got a little teacher, you know what I mean? So, it's you know what? Hey, listen, I said I wasn't going to tell you, but I'll tell you. Listen, it's a day of love. So, you know what? Any day that love could be expressed, I guess is a good thing. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm single, so. So don't listen to me, because I think when I was married, I said the same thing, like, yo, man, come on, man, every day is Valentine's Day.
Right, you try to
get that out. Well, I gotta love you on this day. I can love you every day. You know what I'm saying? I thought I just didn't want to spend my life.
And I remember there was always going back to, no, it's not even about that. I mean, me, like, I'm able to navigate the money spending and whatnot and find where the...
Oh, you're frugal.
Something I go to the funeral home and I'll be like, oh, are you done with these flowers?
That's terrible. That's terrible. Listen, please pray for Randy. That's terrible. That's terrible.
Marcus is embarrassed.
That's
They did
terrible,
finish.
man.
I can see
Like,
it.
I'm just distancing myself. So
Right.
I know my wife's not watching.
Right, right,
But when she goes back and checks it out, I don't want anything to do with it.
That's right.
No, this is all on me, and I'm probably gonna hear
Oh,
some
yeah.
flack about it when I get
Yeah.
back. But either way, though, too, you know, it was funny though when you had the Valentine's Day in school, you always had that one person that like one up everybody else. Like you know,
Sure.
you'd have the one card, and then somebody had to stick like a Reese cup on there, and you know,
Oh, yeah.
I would give out like the stale hearts that said like you know, be mine.
Yeah.
But then there was always the one person that had to step up.
Well, that's why you didn't get any back.
That's what I'm saying, right? See,
You know, you know what? Listen, times were as they were.
Yeah. Oh, so okay. You
Oh,
probably
yeah.
bought did you buy the candy on February 15th?
Well, yeah.
When they
Oh,
went on
gosh,
sale,
sorry, mine,
he's still
mine
there.
are late. Yeah, listen, there's still nothing wrong with getting the after holiday candy.
Oh yeah. Oh, don't tell me you're saving the candy from Halloween to Valentine's Day. Don't tell me you're doing that. He puts it in the freezer.
No, we're not that bad.
Okay. All right,
You know,
okay. I might say.
But you know, with that said, a good transition over to you know last week. Like I said, obviously we
Not a
had the
bad
Super
idea,
Bowl.
though.
It's not. It's not at all.
Not a bad
We had
idea.
the Super Bowl once again. Tom Brady just being Tom terrific.
Yeah.
You know, beating the Kansas City Chiefs in a phenomenal game where they just dominated. And you know, Patrick Mahomes was running for his life the whole time. You know, Tom made the throws. It was interesting. I know last year I read a stat. It was Leonard Fournette, Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski, who all were outside of the game, weren't even you know on the Bucs, weren't even related to it. All scored touchdowns in the game.
Right.
And it was just kind of that team came together. And you know, people are still hating on Tom Brady, which I don't understand. I don't know how you can do it. You know, no matter what happens when he wins, somebody has to tell you a reason why he hasn't earned, you know, multiple of his Super Bowls.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. I mean, listen, I was rooting for him. It's something like, I don't know, I just like those type of players, and Coach, you could actually attest to this, those type of players like that, they step up when it's time to step up. And he just did what he had to do. I'm not saying that, you know, did he play like ultra super spectacular? Yeah, you know, but he played efficient enough to get the job done. You know what I mean? And that's something that, you know, you have to celebrate, take your hat off. I'm not sure. He was a little wavy though at the parade though.
Oh,
he
he was
was
enjoying
very
himself.
wavy. I don't know. You know, I don't know. You know, that's a lot of alcohol. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh no, he was enjoying
Yeah.
himself.
I think that it's just a testament to his leadership because, like
Yeah.
you said, he played well, he played very well.
Yeah.
But he didn't play great. He didn't win them the game. But I think what it shows is how when he's on the team, the other players just have that
Yes.
confidence that we're going to win this game. And I think that allowed the defense. I mean, obviously it helps that Kansas City was missing some offensive linemen, but
Right.
you know, that allowed the defense to listen. If we just do our job, we know that he's going to do his. Like we know he's going to control the offense. So if we can just limit Kansas City, we're going to win this game. And I think that just gave them the ultimate confidence. And Jay, like you say all the time, it's all the leadership, you know. And I think that's what he brings, you know. all the time.
It's like when he steps in the locker room, you already know the standard. You know what you got to do. Like that to me is the level of leadership that I think every athlete, every like person, period, should want to have. That hey, listen, when I step in the room, you know, it doesn't matter where I'm at in the room. I could be front and center, and you know, hey, you know, hear me, or I could just be in the background. No matter where I'm at in the room, leadership is in the room, and you get that from Tom Brady. It doesn't matter. They stepped their game up, and you saw the Brady and Gronk connect. I mean, that's a synergy. It's an ESP that they have together. It's wonderful, and I think that Mahomes gets there though. I think you saw, you know, somebody that is on one level and another person that's striving and moving towards that level.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, those are the two greatest, probably the best quarterbacks in the league right now. Those two.
And to piggyback that, Mahomes with the pressure he was under and the way he still fought.
Oh, he was still
and
doing his
fought
thing,
and
right,
tried
right?
to do everything.
Right.
Like I think that showed what he had
Right.
inside of him.
Absolutely.
Because I think most quarterbacks in that situation, that game would have been 60-0.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
He was fighting like trying.
Yeah.
And they're like, how did he make that?
Right,
throw?
right.
So
And,
you
Right.
know,
and the other thing too, like I read a stat where he had ran 500 yards to avoid pressure.
that's crazy.
I mean, it
Wow.
was unreal.
Wow.
You know, and that's the thing though, and go back to what you were saying about leadership, and it was like interesting because I was listening to yesterday on the radio, and they were talking about leadership, and they were relating it to the
Mhm.
athletes in the area. And, we're going to get to it.
He said the athletes in the area.
We're going to get to it. They were talking about the leadership of different players, and how leaders present in different ways.
Okay.
Like for example, and the one they were talking about was Claude Giroux from the Flyers,
Okay.
and he is one of those leaders who's quiet as can be.
Right.
Then you don't really hear from him, and then there's the other leaders who are the vocal leaders,
Right.
and it was debate of which is a better leader. And I don't think that there is one that's better than the other.
Right.
I think each brings their own way. Because there's guys we've all played on that you knew were like a team leader but didn't say anything. Then you knew there was guys who were team leaders and loud and vocal but didn't
Right.
bring it when they were on the field. So I don't think there's necessarily the right kind of leader. It's just how are you leading your team?
That's fun. That's interesting. I mean, of course, I tell everybody, listen, when you talk to me, I'm a good guy, I'm saying I'm a cool dude, but at the same time, like, I'm always a therapist. I can't turn it off, right? So I think about when I hear that statement, I think about like, yeah, that's somebody's that's their style on how they, deliver their leadership, whether it's on a quiet level or whatever. But what's kind of like congruent amongst all leaders is the fact that they have to lead by their own example. So it's their character, it's their display. You could be a vocal leader, but if you're not like walking in that leadership, then nobody's really going to take you seriously. Like, you know what I'm saying? They say, okay, you're yelling and you're quiet or whatever, but yet, you're not working hard like the people. You know what I'm saying? So you can't just sit back and just say, hey, you know what I'm saying? Or you have to just demonstrate that. So that's why I think those type of leaders like Tom Brady, LeBron James, we switching sports, or fly, anybody on the whatever, or what's his name, Archie Bradley. Those type of leaders, you know what I'm saying?
See, if you're going to say a comment like that,
those type of leaders always do their good thing.
It has to be relevant to the situation. But go ahead.
Those type of leaders, though, they lead by example. That's all I'm saying.
Now, with that said, there's another, talk they talk about it, and of course, obviously, the conversation drum up, and I have to go there because I know I'm going to hear for it. The conversation was drum up from the fact that Carson Wentz is still an Eagle, and the fact that Carson Wentz has been not heard from at all in one way or the other in regards to the situation. And then you have a guy like Jalen Hurts, making the news and that, he's getting the receivers together. They're going to go down. They're going to work in the offseason. They're going to get things together. And so, of course, it was, what kind of leader do you want? Do you want the vocal leader? Do you see the change in the locker room? And that's where it was coming down. I still can't believe, to be honest with you, that Carson Wentz is an Eagle. I think that the Eagles in general as a team have backed themselves into a corner now where they're either going to hold on to him and have a horrible quarterback situation, or they're going to trade him and not get the value that they could have gotten because, once again, Howie Roseman has just messed up this situation.
Right. I think that, well, first of all, I definitely want to applaud you. You masterfully set that up. See, I knew you were talking. That was the conversation.
That was.
But you had to go over. That's why I was laughing.
True.
I don't think Claude Giroux.
Right.
No disrespect. Okay, no disrespect to Claude Giroux, but Claude Giroux has never been the leading sentence of any topic that I've ever made ever. But I was like, well, how can I navigate this?
Right. Before
the barrage.
Right. No, but listen, I think leadership is, especially from that, and we're talking about that particular person or whatever. I mean, you know what? Maybe he feels like he doesn't have to say anything. Maybe he feels like if he says something, it'll open up that can or something. Who knows? But at the end of the day, it's almost like, and I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but it's almost like when you had that insurrection at the Capitol. And I'm not saying that whether people agree or disagree or whatever, because then you could get in, well, more importantly, I can get in some trouble with that, and people can misconstrue my statements. And unfortunately, sometimes people in my position only get one opportunity to speak. So I'm going to be mindful of what I say. But regardless of how you think about it, we needed to hear something. Regardless, sometimes in times of crisis, times of uncertainty, the real leaders need to step up and say, hey, listen, calm down, it's okay, this and that. I mean, we all have families, we all come from families. So, some of us are heads of our families. So if there's a crisis going on in the family, they need to hear from the leader. It's just leadership it should be automatic. I don't think it's taught. I don't think it's taught. I think it's developed.
It's developed.
I think it's developed in the
Either have it or
progression
you
of
don't.
it.
Either have it or
But
you
I
don't.
don't think it's taught. You know what I'm saying? So it depends. You know what I mean? So I don't think Carson is that's who you were drumming and setting all this stuff up for. I don't think Carson. I don't think that's in him. I don't think that's in him.
I don't think it is, and like, you know, I look at it like this. I mean, at some point, I would have still liked to heard something from him. I don't even care if he says, I don't want to be here, or if he gives me some bullshit of, I'm going to do my best to become a better quarterback. Just give me something. Like right now, the silence, you're allowing everybody to write your own narrative. And that's the problem, is that I think that everyone's writing a narrative about him now that is going to be very hard to come back to.
So I'm going to defend Carson a little bit here.
Whoa.
Yeah. Here's why. Here's why.
You have the breaking news sound.
Right,
For sure.
right.
For sure. One is there's nothing that he can say right now
Right, that's true.
that's going to make it better. I don't think anything he says right now improves anything. Because what he would say right now if he came out is, I'm still in the Eagles, this is my team, I'm still going to do everything I can, blah, blah, and give you that answer, and we're all going to bash him for that. And then if he comes out and says, I just want to play, trade me wherever you want, we're going to bash him for that. And as we talk about leadership, what a true leader would do in this situation would be talking to the players on the team consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know if he's doing that. I mean, we know if he's doing that. Like, we know that he's probably not.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what a true leader would do, is still be talking to, because he's still an Eagle.
Right.
Those are the guys he's been to battle with.
Right.
Still in communication with those guys. But for him to come out to the media and all that, I think we're way past that. So I don't think that does anything.
Right. I think you're right. I think that brings up another thing or whatever. Is sometimes leaders. Let me see how I can say this. Sometimes leaders miss the moment.
Sure.
If that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like you can miss the moment. Something could happen on a certain day, and maybe you don't even respond to it till like 2 weeks later, and it's like, you really didn't want to respond, because if you wanted to, you would have, you know what I'm saying?
No,
So I think I agree with that though, Coach. But the thing about Carson is, I think what's happening is people have to me, the Philly fan, you have to look in the mirror. What is this love affair with him for one moment? It was one moment, and it's such a love affair for him. The love affair for him is almost comparable to the McNabb love affair, or lack thereof, dare I say.
But the love affair for Carson started when the Eagles made the trade.
Yeah.
I don't think the love affair started when he was 11-3. I think it started when they made the trade to go up and get Carson, and this is our guy. Oh, we have a franchise. I think that's when the love affair started.
They did, and I know that there's the 11-3. There's what he's done for you. Like I said, the love affair was there for the team, because he was supposed to be the savior, and he was supposed to be the guy who did it. I mean, I still can't believe that we're even sitting in this situation where he's still an Eagle. And what do you do like next year as far as if he's still on the team? I mean, people are saying, we're going to have this kind of quarterback battle, and now all of a sudden we are a quarterback factory. The Eagles are, when you don't even know who your quarterback's going to be next year. Mm-hmm. So you can't try to make this claim that there's quarterback factory. But with that said, I know that going back to a gentleman, Coach Joe, who's going to be joining us in just a minute. Coach Joe, you there?
Hold on. It's a little early. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Coach. I'm sorry. It was a little early. I apologize. We're up like we're working Monday through Friday, so I apologize.
That's okay. Hey, Joe, how you doing? And I want to just comment real quick. Matt, who's watching with us, Matt was talking about that. He says that he feels Carson has a gag order. The Eagles won't let him speak. He says the love affair is with Hurts, and we're supposed to be married to Wentz. Doug even said we're married to each other, and our success goes hand in hand.
And can I comment on that?
Yeah.
And that's the love affair I'm talking about. Like, for you to say there's a love affair with Hurts, and the love affair is not with Carson, like, you're in love with Carson.
Well,
That's what it tells me.
Most Eagles fans are.
Right. Right.
Most
But
Eagles fans
you
are.
understand what I'm saying?
But
I'm
there
doing
still
psychology
is. There still is.
Right.
And Joe will get to you just a minute, just following up.
Wait a minute.
Here's the thing with Hurts is that people put him on a pedestal for an average at best overall performance in the games that he was in.
Wait a minute, hold up. No, they're not putting Hurts on no damn pedestal.
A lot of people are.
No, really, they're not. What they're saying is that, hey, listen, you know what? Him being where he's at has been better than Carson's been recently. It's like they're sick of Carson. So what else is there else to do? If you have, if you want, let me go back to my mayonnaise thing. I think I did that during the election, right? If you got Hellman's, and then you got like generic, and then you don't have.
Where's this going?
I'm not sure.
Oh no.
Okay.
Well, it's
All right,
early.
come on.
It's early. You know what I'm saying? If you have Hellman's and then you have generic mayonnaise, you know what I'm saying? But yet you're missing Hellman's.
I'm laughing at you and I'm laughing at
If you're missing Hellman's, yo, listen, you're gonna use the generic. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not disrespecting Hurts by saying that. All I'm saying is, hey, listen, the love affair is with Carson. People love Carson, and even when you make those comments about Hurts, it's because you're loyal to Carson.
Right, and I think the problem is that the love affair, and with good organizations, the love affair is with winning. So,
Okay.
so when teams, the fan bases just want to win. So you fall in love with the person who's going to help you win. And if they're not helping you win, let's find somebody who's going to help us win. And I think that's the problem that definitely in Philadelphia happens when they fall in love or do not fall in love, in my opinion, in the McNabb situation.
Right.
With guys who are helping you or not helping you. Now we want to hold on, and then it's too late. And now you've wasted years of
You do, and like I said, I'm surprised that this whole Eagles quarterback situation is not settled.
Right.
But with that said, Joe, I appreciate hanging on. Joe, I know we had you on last week. We discussed a little bit about the Super Bowl. Obviously, Tom Brady able to come out with the victory. Give us your recap of the Super Bowl and your thoughts.
Well, a couple cliches to put a bow on the Eagles situation.
Yeah.
Love hurts, baby. Love hurts.
That's funny.
And you also got to say, you play for the name on the front, not the name on the back. Eagles fans love the Eagles. They don't love Wentz. They don't love Hurts. They love the Eagles.
Yes,
I disagree.
So,
But go ahead.
Oh,
But it's all good. I
South
disagree.
Philly, if you're in South Philly, you don't care who got you the win, just that you won. And I don't think there is a love affair with Carson Wentz in Philadelphia after everything that's come out postseason. He doesn't appear to be a good leader. I tell my boys, when you're an 0-7 basketball team in South Jersey Group 1, there's something to tell you boys. You lead by example. You can be a winner without winning the game. You can continue winning things without the scoreboard reflecting ultimately how most people measure winning, and that's the end result. But we've heard nobody's come out to defend Carson. Nobody's come out to say he should stay. I think he's already in Indy today listening to the podcast. So if you're listening, Carson,
Well, maybe they all
if
got
you're
it back
listening,
on.
thank you
I
for
don't know.
4 good. Why can't we just thank him for his time served? And let's move on.
And that's what I think.
It doesn't have to be
I'm still mad you didn't respond to my Instagram message. That's a whole nother story for another day, Joe.
Well, how about Tom Brady? How about leading by example?
Absolutely.
How about that?
Absolutely.
I compare it to, when I was a kid, there were 2 dominant pitchers, Greg Maddux and Randy Johnson.
Yeah.
Randy Johnson could blow that speedball by you, make you look like a fool, boy. And that's a Bruce Springsteen reference. Thank you.
I was gonna say I knew that line.
Yeah. And then you have Greg Maddux, the ultimate pitcher. He could paint black. He could bring it in, bring it out. He could do whatever he wanted to do to keep you guessing.
I don't think he threw
Tom
over
Brady
87,
pitched.
maybe not 89 at the most, right, Joe?
No.
Oh man, he was just
No,
a
he
pitcher. He knew where to put it.
Yeah.
But,
And isn't that what Tom Brady did last week? Didn't he pitch a beautiful game last week? He just controlled the game, made the easy reads, didn't try to do too much. He was just the ultimate last weekend. And you got Mahomes behind that ramshackle offensive line. That to me was the big difference in the game.
It was, and it was with Mahomes. I know that we had mentioned earlier in the show that there was a stat that he ran over 500 yards trying to avoid pressure, and at one point you just look at the the look on Mahomes' face was just, he knew that they weren't going to have it that day. But you have to give the credit, like I said, to Tom Brady and the fact that he was a leader, he was able to manage the game, but how he was able to get all those different personalities with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, bringing them on, and succeed.
I'm sorry. I'm just.
Oh, yeah, how about that? Todd Bowles, let's say, how come Todd Bowles didn't get a look again to be a big-time coach after that masterful defensive performance he threw out there? To hold the Chiefs to no touchdowns? Come on.
It's unbelievable, but I mean, again, that's a narrative that has been, expressed in the NFL too, about African American coaches not getting the opportunity or getting the looked at, or how they're even treated in the NFL. I mean, and even to touch on another NFL topic.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry. Say that one more time. What did you just say?
I said that's been a narrative that has been shown many times, that African American coaches have not gotten the same opportunities. And I mean, even just now, it's interesting how. Now, Joe, I want to get your thoughts on this, and I wanted to bring this up in the show too, with J.J. Watt leaving Houston, and requesting to get one out of his contract, and then you have Deshaun Watson pretty much wanting out of his contract too, and how they're handled in two different ways for two guys who've done. Granted, they're both two legends in Houston, and how that situation is handled. So it's like we sit here and you have a guy like Todd Bowles and other guys like Eric Bieniemy, guys who got overlooked, and then you have a situation like this with an African American leader and a white leader for a team, and how their situations are handled differently.
I'll touch on that, Joe, real quick.
Yeah, I just want to get people's thoughts in general, because I do think it's interesting.
Let's take that around the table.
I think it's two different situations in my opinion. I agree with what you're saying, but the difference is this: J.J. Watt said, "Release me," which means don't pay me, just I'm out of here. Whereas Deshaun Watson saying, "Trade me."
Right.
So it's tougher. It's tough. I think it's tougher. It's easier for if Deshaun Watson were one to be released. I think it would be a little bit different of a situation because now he would have to go find a contract and all that kind of stuff.
Which you wouldn't have a problem doing.
He might not get paid the same money that he's making right now,
Right.
Because of the situation, because of how late it is and things like that. So I mean, I think it's a lot easier to release somebody than it is to trade him. But I do think it's interesting how when J.J. Watt said release me, he was released pretty much immediately. Whereas Deshaun Watson said trade me, and it wasn't like, all right, let's see if we can find a trade partner. They're like, no, we're not trading you. So I think that
I'm gonna remove color. I'm gonna remove color from my answer and just say the quarterback is more valuable than the aging defensive end who's had multiple injury problems. I'm gonna say at this point in his career, J.J. Watt is good, not great. He might have 2 or 3 good years left. Where Deshaun Watson, he's a generational talent. He still has 7, 8 good years left.
Sure.
I wouldn't be so fast to give up on Deshaun Watson either. There isn't another Deshaun Watson available.
And it's interesting though, with in general, just with Houston, like what they're doing down there, because I mean, if you are Deshaun Watson, you're just watching all the talent around you between DeAndre Hopkins and now, like I said, with J.J. Watt, all the guys, just being kind of around you, being gone, and then your head coach situation is a mess. So like you said, if I'm Deshaun Watson, I'm sitting there like, you're on an island by yourself out there. Going back to the Super Bowl, Joe, Just Jay, unless you wanted to touch on that real quick.
No, I just thought that was a very interesting point, though, Coach Joe. I agree with that. That is, I mean, I think it's still, you can still, I don't know, but I totally agree with that because definitely Deshaun Watson has a lot more value than JJ. So I agree with that.
On that topic, real quick, it's interesting. And we don't see it as much in the NFL as we do the NBA, though. When players want to be out in the NFL, usually they're out.
Right.
We don't see teams holding on to people that are saying I want to get out of here.
Out.
Usually
Right.
they're gone.
Unless unless you're the Eagles organization and you want to wait. But
well, he hasn't said anything.
Yeah.
But
How cutthroat though is the NFL? I mean,
Right.
it's the most violent league. The no guaranteed money.
right.
It's really the NFL is just a brutal business, and I think Bryce and I are on the same page. You got to hold on to your quarterback for value than J.J. Watt. And both men have done a lot for that Houston community. If you haven't researched or Googled it. J.J. Watt has done a lot in Houston. Deshaun Watson's done a lot in Houston. It's just a rough situation for Deshaun right now, but I think Houston should definitely hold on to him unless they can work a trade and get equal value or better.
No, I agree. And
That's just the business. That's why. Yeah, I mean, I can see both narratives, and I can analyze it and come up with reasons with both narratives. But what you said, Coach Joe, that's just like straight business. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
that's what I think
it is straight business. I mean, he does have more value than JJ.
Yeah.
And you know what, people, I would hold on to him too. You know what I mean? Because that's my king piece, so to speak.
Yeah, if
you know what I mean?
if you're gonna start a team, everyone knows it. It starts with having a
But but just to add though, to add to that, I think that is a situation that I agree with you, Coach, on totally. But I also think that narrative that maybe the difference and there's a differentiation between when it comes to maybe a white athlete or a black athlete in that type of regard. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that necessarily is the play here. So I agree.
No,
with that.
I agree. I don't see. Yeah, I agree. I think we all agree. I don't see the racial element in this one.
Not this one.
I just think
Right.
it's, as Michael Corleone would say, it's business, son.
It's business. It's business.
You know, like I said, I know that was, I wanted to touch on that and get kind of everyone's thoughts on that, just because that was one of the angles that was taken with that, of where's this at. Now, going back to the Super Bowl, Joe, before we let you go, can Tom run it back, you think, next year?
No one should ever think that he couldn't.
Thank you. Thank you.
I agree.
Yeah.
No,
If he wakes up and stays healthy in his cryogenic chamber and his diet, I read online, is just insane.
well, his diet had a little extra alcohol in it the other day. I know we all saw that.
I saw a lot of funny memes on that. Tom Brady gets as drunk as most people do on a Friday night. So,
Yeah.
Now,
I thought that got a little bit too much media. People so often want to take people down quickly in this cancel
Exactly.
culture
And also,
that
everybody doesn't
let the
realize
man play.
what that was 7 Super Bowl.
7.
That was his first.
Seven.
That was his first parade in the sun.
Right.
Exactly.
He's
Right.
normally- he's not
Yeah, sure enough.
Normally,
Sure enough.
and people
Right,
were
right. Celebrate.
Sure enough. Sure
exactly, and
enough.
people were talking about how he threw the Lombardi Trophy. I'm pretty confident that wasn't the real Lombardi Trophy.
And I'm pretty confident he didn't care about that trophy.
Right, absolutely.
He didn't care about it either. Exactly. Listen, Joe, like I
Okay.
said, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just something that caught my attention in the news this week in the world of football. What's Urban Meyer doing in Jacksonville? What is going on there already?
Urban Meyer's a scumbag.
Oh my God! Wow! On Valentine's Day.
I'm sorry. See, listen, you gotta understand. Urban Meyer used to be at Ohio State,
Okay.
and I'm a Michigan guy. So if you have a connection like that, then I think you're no good. But Joe, I mean, back me up here. Urban Meyer, wherever he's gone, he's built programs up, and he's left them in shambles afterwards.
What do you want?
Yeah, well, he does have a little bit of Chip Kelly in him, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
I agree. I don't buy the whole wholesome image of Urban Meyer.
No.
And to hire that guy without there had to be some background checks there. They had to know who they were getting. It just was, to me, unexplainable. It was definitely regrettable, and cancel culture was on that fast.
Yes, they were. But
And
again,
when cancel culture comes from me, it's not as fast as that.
yeah. No, and that's the thing though too. It's just, and you have a guy like that, and like I said, everyone tries to portray him with this wholesome image when it's far from it.
Is his wholesomeness similar to Sirianni or no?
Stop. Nick Sirianni. Listen, Nick Sirianni.
He's
Again,
got systems.
Nick Sirianni. Like I said, I hope that nobody is bashing this guy, because this guy again has been putting us into a situation where he was the puppet for the front office, and he's going to say with the right things. But once again, like we talked about on other episodes, from what I'm hearing from guys, Sirianni in the locker room is a motivator. The players like him, so I'm interested to see what he brings.
Okay. I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, that's a positive way to look at it. My over-under for him surviving next season is 8.5 games.
Right.
Oh, well, the thing is, though, you saw how long, you know how long it takes for this front office to admit they did wrong. You really think they'd get rid of him that quickly?
After that press conference, I thought he was going to be gone the next day.
Thank you. I mean, my goodness.
No, and especially, I know, that was like you sitting there, you're practicing, you did your lines, and you got on stage, and you completely forgot everything.
Right.
So, but listen, Joe, I
It's like
appreciate
coming on the Let's Get It podcast unprepared. You just can't do it.
I know. Well, it was
No,
like
that's
this,
right.
it was like this morning. It was like this morning. You know, like I said, the early start. But listen, Joe, I appreciate you joining us once again. You know, have you back on. What's going on with your boys? How do you guys do this week with your team?
All right, here's our weekly wrap up. We dropped a tough one to Wildwood by 76 on Wednesday night.
Wow.
Wait a second.
Oh,
Excuse
yeah,
me, I'm not trying to laugh.
104. Listen, Coach Joe's going to come on. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. When you have to take an hour and 50-minute ride
Sure
down
enough.
to Wildwood,
Sure
lose
enough.
by, I think it was 104-46. It was brutal.
And you couldn't even hit
And
the
then the
beach.
boys already at halftime were looking to go into McDonald's. That's a big thing. You take a big bus ride, you get McDonald's on the way home. So we stopped at the McDonald's. And it's
Nobody's getting
closed,
biggie
and
size,
You
right?
can't even go inside. We
Oh,
couldn't even beat McDonald's, for God's sake. McDonald's beat us.
right. Sure enough, you can't go inside.
Oh
So
man.
we had to hit the Wawa on the way out of town. That was very depressing.
Oh man. Well, listen,
And
Coach.
then we
What's,
turned around and dropped a heartbreaker to Salem on Wednesday night by 40. So we're getting better.
hey,
We're coming around.
listen. You know that you guys are getting closer. You're fighting. That's what's important.
Well, after watching Pennsgrove Paulsboro yesterday on the NFH Network, I think I'd like to play Paulsboro at least.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a good
Yeah,
win
that
for
was good.
Pittsgrove,
Yeah, that was a
and
good game.
shout out to Coach Ware, who his boys are 7-0.
7-0, yeah.
So
Listen, Coach and I are probably, coaching's a fraternity, and I'm very good friends with 4 or 5 coaches in the conference, and friendlier with some, but really friendly. Like Coach Ware and I would say are boys, and for that team to be 7-0 blows me away.
Yeah.
I don't know how Pennsgrove scores. I don't know how they do it. Coach Ware is just that darn good.
no, he does, and like I said, getting an opportunity to watch these games firsthand. He has those boys playing with a lot of heart, and that's the thing. It's a young team, but they have guys, and it's from top to bottom. They're getting a lot of contributions, so that's where he's got them going in the right direction. And like I said, an opportunity to announce the games, and I'm excited to see where they go.
It's something about that. I mean, again, like I said, I'm new to the whole situation. I've been there. It's my 4th year, or whatever. But it's something about that town. Like, it's just the heart and the determination. You could sit. You're never out of a game. It's just. They.
Well, with your defense,
It's
their
the
defense is
defense.
like a python.
Right, but it's not just in basketball. It's like just a way of life down there. Like
It's scrappy. It's a scrappiness.
it's the heart though.
Yeah.
It's like I'm never out of it. And that's what I've come to love and appreciate about that area.
No, absolutely.
Well, Coach Ware being an alumni of the program, of
Sure.
the high school,
Right,
teaches with me in the local elementary school.
right.
He's in the community. He's got roots in that community. So when Coach Ware says something, it's unquestioned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
This isn't the Coach Ware show. Let's get off that. Congratulations.
No, absolutely. Well, listen, Coach, I appreciate you joining us once again. We'll have you on again, and good luck this week with all your games.
Absolutely.
Well, boys, stay safe out there. And we lost our first game due to COVID on Tuesday. Woodstown is out now for another 2 weeks. So
Oh,
if
wow.
anybody out there is in the Let's Get It community, wants to schedule Pennsville, wants a hungry bunch of men to come to their gym, you'll probably beat us. So come on, give me a call.
So if you guys want a confidence booster, call up Coach Joe, huh?
Hey, listen, we don't hide from anybody. We know we might be the underdog, but we would rather play
Absolutely.
than not play.
Right.
No, absolutely. I love that mentality. Come ready to play in heart and showing that, motivation is awesome.
You never know what can happen when they roll the ball out.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, Joe, thanks a lot for joining us.
God bless, boys. Have a safe day, and I'll see you at the window.
All
Sounds
right, bro. See you later.
All right. Well, with that said, we're going to run a quick commercial break. When we come back, you're going to want to join us. We have head coach Mike Ricci of the Haddon Heights boys varsity basketball team. You're watching Let's Get It, and we're right back after.